Refresh.
The video has been removed by user. Is that right?
Refresh. We should be live. Do you see it?
It just popped up again.
Is it good?
Yep.
Beautiful.
There we go, says Josh.
All right. Sorry about that.
Proper orientation.
And I lost my knife.
Guess what happened?
You're in a secure area.
All right. Welcome to the first episode of the Skull Affair. We're off to a rocky start, but it's fine. What we are doing here is I'm hoping to do once a month is sit down with someone in the community or involved in the business end or the industry end. The second episode, which is lined up for March, is someone in the industry to interview them about something and have a conversation about something that's interesting. So I have Elle Boog with me to help me with the questions and stuff. If you guys have questions, she's going to keep track of it, and we'll sort all that out. And she'll also be participating. And Mr. Pinkerton, if you're nasty, from the Realm of Collectors, the Enter the Realm show, part of the Cool Table Network, and a good group of guys. And tonight, we are going to be speaking with Tyler the Collector. Like Tyler the Creator, except instead of creating, he collects, and he only does that some of the time. So the reason we are doing this gentleman is involved in the Cool Table Network. He is part of the show Toy Detox, a good podcast if you're interested.
You know, we could have moved this and shown everybody the cool table.
That is true, but I don't know what to do with this stuff now. I gotta work out a whole new system. He has recently made a pretty big leap. For those that collect, you know what your collection means to you. Did you pass me that knife? And he got out. Sold it all. I think we've all thought about that at some point. Thinking about just getting out of all of it. And he actually did it. So I want to talk to him about what it's like to get out. So Tyler, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Now, I want to drink while I'm doing this, but I got this thing, and I can't let this thing go now because it's like my thing. So I'm going to take this pocket knife, and I'm going to cut a hole in the mouth of it right now in order to be able to drink this wine, which everybody thinks, including myself, is a really bad idea. So if the whole thing ends in about 5 minutes, just know I had the best intentions with all of it from the jump street. We just can't go that route. So,
The first and last episode, people. You're here to witness.
oh boy,
We'll be taking you to the hospital to get stitches put in your tongue.
it's not a smooth cut.
What about scissors?
Do you have scissors on you?
You made a hole, Bob.
I gotta find it though.
Put some hair. Oh, sorry. No.
I think I found it.
There you did. Yeah, there.
All right.
Boy, I wish you guys.
This looks
could
way
zoom in on
worse in
this.
person.
And now I'm getting my finger out of the way. Look, we gotta do what we gotta do. All right. And I know this is strange. All right. We have to have a good time, and this is part of it. Thank you. So, Tyler, let's start at the beginning.
Robert told you to save that mask for Skullface.
You're gonna have to speak up, no one can.
Oh, sorry.
Let's start at the beginning. When did you start collecting? When did you realize? And I don't mean just buying toys or buying whatever. I mean like you were making purchases, and you knew it was something bigger than just the enjoyment of the single purchase.
I think when we were all kids, we'd buy a lot of stuff, and I mean, toys were part of it, but I wouldn't consider myself a toy collector as a child, and I think some of us say we are, but in reality, we're really not, right? But my collection actually started, I think with a lot of people's did, was in like sports cards, and which kind of led me into comic books. My grandma kind of got me into sports cards. She was a big NBA fan and NFL fan. So she used to buy like the complete boxes of cards, and we would go through them. It's kind of like our thing, so we'd go through and we'd put the sets together, kind of, and then that, because we would go to the card shop, comic shop, that kind of led into comic books.
And how old are we talking?
7, 8 years old probably.
Okay.
So like 2nd grade. And kind of started it that way. And she herself kind of did a lot of collecting. Actually, Chris and I were joking about it today. Like, I really think people who collect, like, there is kind of a DNA factor. In it.
I don't disagree with that.
People like, I don't know if it's goes back to hunter-gatherer or scarcity complex, whatever it is. But I definitely think there's something there that kind of gives us that addictive personality trait.
I would have been the caveman with the most rocks in my cave. Would have had all the rocks.
I don't know. You may have had just a few fine rocks.
I would have had all the rocks.
You would have had the shiniest rocks of them all, Chris.
And I would have traded them constantly with other people's rocks.
So what about Transformers specifically?
So I think like with a lot of people, like I kind of had a resurgence with Transformers when I saw the original MP1 when it was in like Walmarts, and I kind of got that, and then that kind of led me into like some of the alternator stuff, and then kind of going back to my parents' house, pulling out all my G1 stuff, kind of getting that piece together. And that was like the same time where Toys R Us started doing like the anniversary reissues, so I was buying the ones that I was missing, and then it just kind of spawned from there.
Now, at the height of your Transformer because obviously there's a lot of different routes you can go with Transformer collecting. At the height of your Transformer collecting, so 3 months ago, what was your main collection consisting of?
Well, I mean, I went through the phases, right? So like I phased out alternators. I went through the classic and chug piece, kind of phased through all that stuff, and then it was like MP and third party. Are we talking like dollar amounts? Or are we talking
No. I'm saying like
or...
you know, what were the lines? Like, what would you say if someone were to say, you know, you're a collector, and you said, yeah, what do you collect? And you said Transformers, and they said, oh, I'm into Transformers. What kind of Transformers do you collect? What would be your answer to that question?
Masterpiece scale, third party.
Okay. So you were a masterpiece scale collector. Your collection consisted of official, Takara, and third party.
Yep.
Okay. I'm asking these questions like I don't know for the sake of the show, right?
I understand.
How big was your collection?
I want to say, well, before I started before I started selling, I want to say it was up to about 90 figures between MP and third party. Like that I would call proper. That's not including like MMC kind of chug scale stuff. Just MP kind of scales about 90 figures.
Would you say that was a complete masterpiece collection at that time? As complete as you could get?
As complete as you could get.
As complete as you could possibly get it, yeah. Outside of that shitty Ace.
So you had, would it be fair to say you had a representation of every character that was available, short of a couple that were questionable?
That were just utter trash.
Yeah, besides trash. If it was out there, I had it. And it was the best representation. So like I kind of would go through the phase, like got rid of Provider, got in the new KFC Octane. So yeah, and like that was my thing. I just wanted one good representation of each character.
I heard that you even had a Sworder.
I did have a Sworder.
So, all right.
Don't listen to Mickey when it comes to Transformers.
And some other things.
Yeah. Shout out to Brave.
Shout out to Brave. Let me ask you this. So so your collection kind of mirrors mine in the sense of direction, right? So that takes up a lot of space.
A lot of space.
How did you have yours?
Raoul says we need to get super chat turned on. Do we know what that is?
Raoul, can you tell us how to do that? Raoul, if you were here, buddy, we would have you.
Ask Raoul if that's what we use on Monday.
I think I have to do it on my thing.
You have to do it on your turn it on. Oh, he wants to.
Raoul said no clue. And Robert asked if I was wearing his collar.
It's not as big. It's not as big as Robert's collar.
All right, so so I know how much space that takes up.
Yeah.
So how did you have yours displayed, and was it in one room? Like how much real estate of your house was this collection taking up?
So my home office is probably about. It might be slightly bigger than this room, but
I don't need you to compare it to my stuff.
Well, I'm just trying to get a grasp of my room space. So I had
I mean,
Are you a little sensitive?
Look, man, I work hard for my stuff. I don't need you to tell me it's a little bit bigger than mine. If you say it's a little bit smaller than mine, then that's fine.
Just ignore that he has 2 other rooms.
Yeah. How about that room right there? Was it bigger than that one?
No, it wasn't.
All right.
Man, I never pictured you as a size queen, Bobby.
You got to protect the few things you got.
Conservatively, so in my home office, there were 7 billies, full-size billies, and then a couple corner units. And then in my work office space, I have it's like 2 tall bookshelves and like a half. So.
How many Fans Toys Omega Supremes did you have uncomfortably bent into a DTOF?
0.
Nice.
I have 0 DTOFs.
All right. The reason why I asked that is because it's going to come into play a little bit later because it's something that I've thought about. Let's move forward. At what point did you start considering the idea of letting it all go?
Actually.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just following our...
Yeah. No, please.
So, ups and downs, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
What would... High points, low points of collecting. What would you say was... Of your masterpiece collection, we'll just call it a masterpiece collection. What was the high point for you, and then the low point?
Quantity? Are you
No,
talking piece count or
just
are you
emotionally?
Emotionally, yeah.
It would be kind of hard to identify a couple of the high points. Like I think whenever you have that moment when you complete a shelf.
Mm-hmm.
So like when Grinder hit and you finally had all 5 Dinobots, like that I would consider a high point.
Sure.
Wasn't as high as I thought it should be.
Right.
And we will I'm sure we'll get to that a little bit later. And then just some of like the characters that like were like your favorites as a kid, like when you finally got one, right? Like when we finally got a Jazz after 4 or 5 years, right? When the Toy World Debbie, when that last piece hit and you were finally able to put together this like massive monster, like that was a good moment.
Agreed.
But when you talk about low moments, it seemed like the longer this collection got drawn out, the highs weren't as high, and the lows just kept getting lower. Like to me, when Fans Toys Omega got announced, I was super excited. Like Omega, like I still have a clear memory as a kid getting Omega Supreme on Christmas Day.
Tyler, speak up a little bit.
Okay. All right, so I have a very clear memory as a child getting Omega Supreme for Christmas. Like I clearly remember sitting at the kitchen table with my dad, helping me put the thing together, and I was excited to get that Fans Toys Omega. And when it finally came, I actually took it over to Dust's house, and I met up with him and Steele, and that was one of the last tipping points for a couple of reasons. One, I finally got it, and we put it together, and it was nowhere near that feeling that I thought it should be.
So what you're saying is Dust Mites is the reason you sold your collection.
No, but it was interesting. Yeah, what up, Dust? But one of the funny things was sitting there and watching Steele and Dust get more excitement out of that figure that wasn't even theirs than what I felt. I was just kind of like, okay. And I got Cup that same day, and Cup was another one that I was waiting for, and it was just kind of like, okay.
So with all, and I'm asking this because I'm into it, with all of the lows that do happen regularly, like you know what I mean, like we live through a lot of lows. You spend a significant amount of money and you get garbage, like with all those lows that happen, it's actually Fans Toys Omega Supreme, which is a well done thing that was a low, but I think that's interesting because that means that it's a this problem.
It's 100% me. It's not the quality of the figures. I mean, I think we'd all agree, especially over the last 24 months, the quality in the figures has gone up exponentially. Yeah. And especially like when you start seeing like the stuff that Fans Toys is putting out, like I love it. Like they were my third party company, but it came to a point when even my favorite third party company, it wasn't doing anything for me anymore.
I think that is a big sign when it's something that is good and doesn't hit home, as opposed to something that's bad. Like you kind of take your licking and keep on ticking, Well,
and it's one of those things like when we talk about the highs and lows, they used to balance each other out.
Mm-hmm.
And when you would get something really, really good, you would kind of forget about that bad stuff. But then when the problem is when you lose that passion for the good stuff, the lows make it even lower. Like the stuff that's bad makes it seem even worse. And then you're sitting there and you almost got to reevaluate life decisions. Like when you're looking at this stuff and you're like, I just spent $70, $80, $90 on this thing and I hate it.
And let alone 300.
Yeah, let alone 320, whatever he was.
Right.
So, when did you start really? That's the moment when you start really considered getting out?
Well, I think we all play that devil game, like inside us, right? Like we all think about having the ideas of selling it all, and I've been toying with the idea probably, honestly, for like the last 12 months. And it was one of those things. When that figure comes out, I will be excited again. Or when and it's like you keep putting so much expectation on the next figure, or you're putting your hope that that's what's going to re-inspire you to start collecting again. And then when you don't get it, and then
can I ask you a question about those 12 months? During those 12 months, when you were debating selling, was part of you still buying just to keep up with the Skullfaces, for example, or the Joneses? I mean, was that part of the reason you
don't keep up with me? I drink wine out of a box
with a straw
in a Darth Vader cup. All it needs is a sippy.
Hey, that's a KJ Sparkle special.
With a mask on. Yeah. But nonetheless, was that part of the? I mean, I've had some of the same thoughts, and, and I have liquidated some of my stuff as well.
Yeah, you got 1.5 feet out the door as well.
I have 2 shelves really left. Not about me tonight. Not yet anyway. Was part of, because I go through the same thing. Was part of the reason you were still buying stuff is this is what everybody's going to have, and for conversation's sake, I feel like I need to have this. Did that ever enter your mind?
No. I wasn't worried about keeping up with anybody else. I've kind of always just bought what I wanted.
You also have a lot of money. This is true.
Well, and it's funny. Like, so if you listen to the episode that we did, and if you haven't, go listen to it. Part 2, you can skip part 1.
We do the plugs at the end.
Okay. Well, I'm plugging now.
Sure.
Yeah. Part of it was. And all of our economical situations are different.
Sure.
But Brave and Spiros brought up a point that I really hadn't thought about. And it's like a lot of people have, I don't want to say scrimp and save, but it's like they have to pick and choose what figures they're going to get when. And I was just kind of like, I had retailers like the day it hit, hey, this is here, you want it? Yep, ship it. And that's kind of what it was. So I didn't have to strive for it, or like it wasn't. They brought up a point because it was too easy, like it was too accessible. I didn't appreciate it for what it was, and I never looked at it from that point of view before. So
let me ask you a question on that. So obviously you have another collection that you still have.
I have a couple.
Yeah. Well, you have a very large collection.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously you have a very. I'm trying to word this carefully.
Sure.
You have a great avenue to that resource. Do you think if you didn't have that avenue, that collection would not be anywhere near what it is? And you can speak on this as much as
Sure. Yeah. So I don't know, for people who don't know, I have a very large shoe collection, and part of it is
women's shoes.
Yes, it's women's high heel.
What if it was?
I collect stilettos. I want like a 9-inch heel. No, so
do I.
Is that what you tell your wife? 9 inches?
This is the Tyler household.
Yeah.
Get out the measuring tape. It's 9. I bet not now, but later.
Stop. No complaints there.
Hey.
But no, so for the shoe thing, there is still difficulty in getting the shoe thing. Like the shoe business, and especially like in this limited stuff, there's a larger scarcity model there in trying to get access to stuff. Even in the position that I have, I still don't have access to everything that I want. So there is still like a chase factor in that. And I think that's kind of what a lot of it is. Like we're always chasing that high. And And I tried to branch out to a few other things like over the last year. Like I got real heavy into like Batman the animated series stuff, and like it was a false high. Like I was buying it because it was something to chase, it was something to collect. Like I got in late, it gave me things to do, and then I left it at somebody's house.
Mine.
And
I did a few reviews. Too many. It was too many.
I brought them all, and it was here. And when I finally got it back, I don't know how much longer it was. Doesn't matter.
Months.
But it was months. Yeah. But when I got it back, I was expecting that high again, and I opened it, and it was nothing. And that was kind of a triggering point for me, where it made me think like, am I doing this because I'm collecting what I love, or is it because I'm in it for the chase? And I think a lot of it, and especially now with some of the places that
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you, Tyler.
What was it?
I'm just reading their stuff.
Is it Robert?
No,
Okay.
sorry.
Well, if you hear a good one.
Yeah, if you hear a good
I
one.
know,
yeah.
but it's too much. It's
Oh.
too much. You know,
Um.
they're making jokes.
Oh, that's fine. It's probably all doll life stuff, but it's fine.
We'll
There
get
was a
there.
dog.
Yeah. So we'll get there, but it made me realize that I'm in it for the chase, and especially now with some of the stuff I'm buying. Like I'm able to recognize my behaviors, that I know what I'm doing right now, and I'm trying to give myself parameters to kind of try to keep me interested in the thing. And then
I feel like you have very few parameters for your new thing, but we're going to get there.
Okay. And the other thing is in at least this way, and with this, like, the fact that, like, the pre-order went up today or yesterday, and I have to wait an entire year. So I think that's going to give me something to look forward to versus, and I mean, and we used to get it a little bit in Transformers, and when we get the unveil, right, or we would get the silhouette, and then they would tease it throughout.
Yeah.
And that has also gotten shorter during this same time period over the last 12 months. So
That's true.
It's just some of these things, like, as I've been, you know, self-analyzing, and then just the amount of questions, because people, like, it's amazing how many people, like, it has put them in a distress almost that I'm getting out, and it's causing them to, like, I can't believe you're doing this.
Well, because I don't think we know anyone personally that has. I think we've known people that have gotten out for, you know, times get hard. You got to do what you got to do, of course. But I don't think I can't think off the top of my head if we know anyone that was like, yeah, you know what? Not for me.
Well,
like, you know?
and I've mentioned this to you, the I don't want to say it's odd, but the thing that struck me about what you're doing, or what you've done, is you didn't have a direction for what was next. And most of us, I'm selling this stuff.
Sell to survive?
Sell to survive, right? You're just, I'm done.
Yeah. I'm,
or you thought you were.
Right.
Well, are we talking, well, no, I mean,
I'm just saying, you sold your Transformers without a clear
An intention.
path.
Yeah.
I'm going to start collecting wigwams or whatever it is.
Dude, you should start
I'm
collecting
I'm more of a teepee guy than a wigwam guy, but
or merkins maybe.
Merc.
That's a whole.
What do the kids do with the big eyes cats?
Those are merkins.
Well, they should get those.
Okay.
Do you know what a merkin is?
No.
We'll tell you when the camera's on.
But let's continue on with when you were contemplating to get out. You obviously with that amount of investment, and I think
Can we stop, like, on that investment thing for a minute? Like, toys are not investments.
No. I don't. No. Forgive me. I don't mean in the sense that you're gonna flip it one day.
Okay,
I mean like
more time, money.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like with that amount of investment, like for me even, like it's not only is it that investment of time, money, and energy, not to turn around and sell for a big payoff one day. It's also it's like a part of my identity almost. I feel like. What were your? Obviously, you had to have some. What were your hesitations?
Was it not being cool anymore? Was that ever?
That didn't cross my mind.
Yeah. I'm afraid I won't be cool because I won't collect toys.
Right.
No, I think when you look at something and, like, the grandeur of it, and especially, I mean, not so much now, but in the beginning of third party, there was a lot of scarcity. Like, it was tough to come by. There's some of the pieces that I thought, like, if I sell this, I may not be able to get it back, or if I do, I'm gonna have to pay a pretty significant markup. But, like, in the end, like, standing there and holding, like, a few of these things, and I don't know if it was the book that my wife was reading, Act of Tidying Up or Life of Cleaning Up, whatever it was.
Japanese Art of Tidying.
There you go, Japanese Art of Tidying Up. Thank you. But it was very much like almost like a Buddhist almost type of approach to it, where it's like, or even in the, you know, what does Yoda say?
Does it bring you pleasure?
That,
or
yeah, you let it go, or like attachment is your downfall, right? And it was just, I had to weigh it. Like, am I really attached to this? And it's, you kind of have to think about it like,
the shadow of greed it is.
Yeah, and it very much so. But it's kind of like you collect it and you enjoy it, but like having those things.
Was space a factor?
No, space was not a factor. So that one I get asked a lot too. Like, I had plenty of room in my home.
Will you still come to Skullfest?
Yes, I didn't. Is that on the qualifications list?
Yeah.
You still have to collect.
You have to enter in the size of your collection.
MP Collector is really having a tough time with this. He's
That's good.
struggling with your decision.
But yes, I will still be at Skullfest. But really, like, you lose that desire for it, and like I remember I was sitting in my home office, and I was just kind of like taking it in and weighing the options, and then like I started looking around, and I realized there was, I can't remember the number, there's 70 or 80 figures in that room, just Transformer MP, like third party scale, and I started going through and I started counting them, and there was like 20, I think it was 27, 26, 27, 28, somewhere in there that I never even bothered transforming. They came in bot mode. I just
put them on the shelf.
I just put them on the shelf. I never touched them again, and I had
Justin
no.
L said to hand and grinder and make you hold it for the rest of the video.
I just had no. Is that too close to
I'm not
the
that
edge?
guy. I'm not that
I just
guy.
felt the stairs.
I'm not that
I promise. If I break it, I'll buy a new one.
I know you got it in your PayPal.
my PayPal is looking mighty healthy right now. It was just one more indication, it's one more sign that I'm losing the passion for it. Like, I had zero desire to transform any of them. Like, if they came in bot mode, it was cool. They went on the wall.
You know, I wonder sometimes how much I would get into them if I wasn't reviewing them sometimes. You know, like, I think I go further into the transformations and try to see how, just for the sake of reviewing it, just and mainly not even for the review, but so that I don't have to answer some knucklehead 10 times about how I didn't do it right. You know, like it's less about the review, but it's more about the process of it. And I do think I would fall into that quite easily, especially the ones that come in bot mode, just pose in place.
Yep. That's what I do for the majority. I know several people that are the same way.
And sometimes you don't even pose.
Yeah, that's right.
But you've gotten good. The Sammy looks great. The Sammy looks great. Like, tear to my eye, great.
I can't win. I can't win over here.
But okay, so in terms of the what was your, walk me through the steps of getting out. When we're contemplating it, you're getting ready to line up so that you can get ready to get out. Walk me through that process.
Well, the first thing anybody who's selling Transformers does is contact Jisk.
That's
He
true.
apparently will buy anything from anybody.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jisk.
He was actually the first one. So when I finally came to the decision, like, okay, I'm getting out. The first thing you gotta do, like, I just took like a complete inventory, made sure that, you know, everybody I had, listed everything out, like, just went through all, like, none of them had any issues because I never messed with them, but make sure that they had all their accessories, everything else, like, it was good, like, we were like good to go. So once I had that list done, then it turned into price research. You know, if the Transformers open, like, I know I'm not gonna get my money back, especially if there's something that has come out, I'm not gonna get that money back. So
Right.
I priced it to move. I felt the prices were very fair, and as quickly as it's moved so far, I would say, like, it's been pretty fair. I've had a couple people that have, like, hey, you know, like, when Skyfire, that reissue just hit right in the middle when I was trying to liquidate it, so, you know, you kind of had to make some price adjustments, and then really, you know, I put a little teaser out, like, hey, I've made the decision, I'm out, stay tuned, let me get everything together, I'll post the list. and that was probably a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
There's two types of people who hit me up that day. One of them I would say is the friend approach, where it was like, have you thought this through? Have you made sure this is what you want to do? Can I, maybe you should just put them away in their boxes and tuck them away somewhere.
That's my philosophy.
And then the other one is the vultures circling. I tell them I'm out. Everybody comes looking for a deal. So, or they started hitting me up. Well, hey, do you have this? Do I have this? Can I be first? Can you send me the list before you post it? And it's just like, no, it'll go up. Everybody will have a fair shot at it. So.
So you're lining up boxes. You're lining up accessories. You're researching prices. You're pricing to move. And then you make the decision to sell. At any point during that process, did you ever have was there any second thoughts, even during that process, where you were like getting out the boxes and you were like, I can't, you know what I mean? Like, was there any moment?
Well, not me personally. Like I'm a very decisive person. Like I have to make a ton of decisions at work every day. So usually, by the time I've made the decision, it's go time. Like I'm not gonna go back. But like as I was pulling all the boxes out, my oldest son, who's kind of been with me through this whole ride. I mean, he'll be 13 this month actually, and just kind of the look on his face, and I couldn't tell, and like he didn't really want to talk to me about it, but I couldn't tell if it was remorse or scared, or if it was, he just had, it was just a very concerned look.
Okay.
And he was just like, well, and he was kind of asking me these same questions, like, how come you don't want to keep them anymore? Like, how come you want to get rid of them? Are you getting rid of all of them? And, and they've kind of, like, both of my sons, my two older sons, I thought they were into Transformers. And this is one more of those self-reflection things where I was projecting my love of Transformers onto them, because it became very clear. Before I sold a single figure, I told all three of my older kids, so my two older sons and my daughter, I was like, you guys can have first choice. Take whatever you want. And you guys can have whatever you want. Doesn't matter. And, and it's even funny to see their personalities, because my daughter's like, well, can I have this little pink tape, like the little KFC tape? And I'm like, 100%. I'm like, that's all you want? That's the one you want? And she's like, yeah, that little
You're like, don't breathe on it, whatever you do.
Yeah, don't look at it funny. Don't put it near your window. Don't expose it to direct sunlight.
Don't feed
after midnight, yeah. That's where I was going. And so, that's all she wanted. And then my guy who'll be 8 here soon was like, can I have that one? And he's pointing at Devastator. I'm like, is that the one you want? And he's like, can I have that one? I go, if you want that one. And he's like, I don't want that one. He's my kid who's constantly like testing me, right? And
he wanted the Grail, whatever you didn't want to get rid of.
I mean, and I literally told him they could have anything. And I told my son, and my older son, and he's my very thoughtful one, and he asked if he could think about it, and I said yeah. And then the next morning I was talking to him about it, and he was like, well, if I pick one and I sell it, can I keep the money? And I was like, no.
Every day I'm hustling. I'm hustling.
I'm like, that's not how it works. And I'm like, well, even if I did that, like, what would you want it for? And he's like, oh, well, I want to buy Lego. I'm like, okay, fair enough.
At least he's up front.
Yeah, no.
Look, no, please give it to me, because I got problems too, and I'm gonna sell it, and I'm gonna fix my problems by getting some Legos.
He wants some Legos. So, but I found a guy in the community, fan of the network. He's actually got a huge Star Wars Lego collection.
I like him already.
I was like, hey,
Nice.
would you be willing to take a trade for a trade? He's like, I have all this Star Wars Lego stuff, and I was like, actually, as a matter of fact, we might be able to work something out. So
Nice.
So I got some. So all the kids are gonna get taken care of with Star Wars Legos. So
Well, that works out.
yeah.
So the kids obviously maybe had feelings, not the feelings you thought they did.
No. Well, and it was for like, I thought they loved Transformers, and then through the end, like in the end, it doesn't matter to them.
It's just more probably about enjoying whatever you're enjoying.
That's exactly what it is. And
someone else has had a hard time with that.
But they don't enjoy what I enjoyed.
Well,
I'm not playing cats. I'm not playing it. I don't want to pretend I'm a cat.
I mean, when you bought,
I'm a human.
Spent a lot of money on Jaina's Transformer collection,
Mhm.
and then she was done with it, and he was like heartbroken.
Yep.
But that was because it was like this thing that we shared together. You know, like.
Well, right.
But it wasn't like, it's like she left. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, though? You know what I mean? It wasn't like I got out.
That's a little different.
It wasn't like I got out and she was like, okay, what are you into now? I'm down to ride. It was like, look, I'm done.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
I can totally, relate to us mirroring to our kids what they like. So my little guy's 4, and it used to be when I had my detox full of Transformers that Bobby hated, it was...
They didn't look good in the detail. My man had the Hasbro Devastator split in 2 parts.
Yes, he did.
Come on, you gotta relax.
I did that just for you, Bobby. I seriously did that just for you. He would come downstairs or before we moved, Daddy, can we name all the Transformers? And we'd go through them. And now it's, can we name the
because it's about sharing something with you.
Right now, can we name the X-Men or can we name the Star Wars? So he's shifted as I have. So that's a very good point you bring up. So obviously your kids had some feelings there, and maybe not the ones you thought. What about your wife? How's your wife taking?
That's what I want to know.
Taking to this,
because we actually talked about it. Like,
and yes, I'm his wife.
Yes.
Tyler's wife?
No, mine's in Georgia.
Because we discussed it.
Mm-hmm.
How did she respond?
At first she was kind of like, yay.
Really?
Yeah.
That was her knee-jerk reaction.
That was her knee-jerk reaction, but I could tell, especially when the boxes started coming out, she got really, really quiet about it, and she kind of just let me be, like, in my own space, and she kind of kept her distance about it. And then when it was just me and her, like one-on-one, she's like, "Are you sure you're gonna do this?" I'm like, "Yep." She goes, "Have you thought it through?" I said, 100%. And her next question was, "Is everything okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're fine."
She's like, "Are we losing the house?"
Well, so that was my initial reaction. I'm like, everything's fine.
You should have been like, "Sit down."
No. Well, so I was like, everything's fine. Like, and I'm like, I'm not doing this for the money. She goes, no. I didn't mean it that way. I was like, okay. And she goes, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And she goes, "Are you sure?" I go, "Yep." And she's like, "Okay." And she kind of left it alone, but she would keep coming back to that. Like, "I want to make sure you're okay." And I think we could say that collecting and even Transformers, it's been a big part of our lives for at least the last 4 or 5 years. Probably if not longer.
Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, and if I think about it, like, it's taken me in directions and exposed me to different things that, I mean, if we're being real, I don't think the 3 of us would be sitting in this room right now. There probably wouldn't be a Cool Table Network if there wasn't for third-party Transformers.
There surely would.
You're absolutely right.
If we're being honest. So, and I kept telling her I was okay. Little did I know she was, like, researching, like, what happens when a collector, like, liquidates and stuff, or, like, signs of this kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And I think she was more concerned about, like, my personal welfare. But, like, I just had to keep reassuring her, like, I'm fine. Like, I think it's because it's such a drastic change from getting a package a week or 2 packages a week sometimes to, like, now it's just like.
Was it really that drastic? We'll get there. I do have a question.
There's a lot of questions.
So what was? How did your wife take it when you originally started collecting Masterpiece and third-party Transformers? Was she concerned at that? And obviously you didn't start with packages and everything.
Yeah.
You know, as it got to
packages, boxes, and bags.
At a certain point, was she concerned on maybe not even necessarily financial, but the fact that, we're 35, 40-year-old men with these giant toy collections?
So when she met me, like, my collection, like, at the time, like, I had a nice car, spent a lot of money on that car.
Stop bragging.
I'm not bragging. But I would, like, there's always been something. Like, there's always been, like, a collecting thing, right? So it was, and then obviously the shoes have been a huge thing. So the shoes were there before her, and they continue to be there. Just saying.
There's a setup that I don't think you want to go down.
It's not I'm not saying they'll be here before her and after her. No. But so, like, she's been aware of, like, the like compulsive desire to collect, right? So when it started going to Transformers, and I'll be married 14 years this week, actually.
Should we make? I feel like we should make some.
Yeah, she's put up with me for 14 years. So I got that MP1 right after we first got married, and like that kind of started it. And she was like, "So why do you want this thing?" And I think at the time it was like, what's the thing, $80-$90 at Walmart, whatever it was. And we had just got married, just got our own place, and I mean, we probably didn't have the $90 to spend on something frivolous like that. But she's like, if it means that much to you, okay.
I've heard you tell that story.
So like she kind of like opened the door to it, but I don't think either one of us knew how big it was going to become. No, not at all. But
I know that's a special moment because I've heard you tell that before. Yeah. How would you feel if I sold all my stuff?
You're selling the bookshelves because I'd be interested.
I'm selling them for clones and battle droids.
Okay, we'll work something out.
I think I also would be very concerned. Something would have to be really wrong.
Mm. Yeah, that's probably true. So, what else do we have anything before we get into what the future holds?
I mean, do we want to pause for their questions while we have a break?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to get to their questions right before we get to our gauntlet.
So, obviously now you have this room bigger than this one.
Stop.
It's a big room.
It's a big room.
It's very big.
Very large.
It's huge, Tyler.
4 flat screens.
Tyler, what do you do with all the space in that room? That big old room that you don't know what to do with.
So now that you have this big empty room, what's that like? Is there an echo?
No, there's not an echo. I will tell you, it's funny, right? Like, getting rid of this.
Does it feel cold in there now?
No, it makes me feel lighter. It really does. Like, just getting rid of this stuff, it's one less thing. Like, I just don't have to deal with it.
I know what that feels like. That's how I felt when I got rid of the boxes. I felt lighter.
Yeah, like, I felt lighter. It feels better. It's been interesting, though. Like, my kids have started to move stuff in there and there's random stuff on the shelves every day when I go in there. So they're just kind of, like, marking their territory, I guess. So, like, I walked in there, there's Lego Star Wars everywhere. I was like, okay, so this is what we're doing now. Okay. Sure, why not?
There's worse. How about connection to the community?
Sure.
Obviously, we're all part of the cool table here, and you know, you're on a podcast called Toy Detox.
Kind of came to fruition, didn't it?
Never talked about it.
It's the most aptly titled podcast in the network.
It really is. So you have, to an extent, detoxed yourself from toys. Did getting rid of all those and basically being a toyless cool table member, did you have a concern that you'd lose connection with the fabric of our lives?
Well, are we talking with the people in the network, or are we talking the Transformer community in all?
I think most of the friendships, like the friendships and
questions.
relationships that you've built along the way
Exactly.
that all are based, all of us are friends, and all of us are friends because of this.
I think that's where it started. Like, that was the common ground, but like, that's not all of it now. I mean, the more we've grown, I mean, we talk about our wives, we talk about our kids, we talk about everything else, just life in general. Like, it's grown much more than just the toys.
I agree.
But I mean, if we're being honest, like, if it's everybody in the network, amazing. Like, I'm not going anywhere, and even my friends that are out, like, that are not part of the network, but are friends that I've made throughout it, like, I'm still gonna keep in contact. Like, I'm still in 1,000 group chats. Like, it feels like I keep getting added to more, and like, that's fine. But if we're being honest, one of the many reasons I got out was this toxic Transformer community. Like, right. I was very pleased to close the door on that.
I'm going to save that question for the last of this. Let me ask you 2 more questions real quick. One, to go back to what Chris was saying. There's no element, and we're going to get to your future, but there's no element of that room, that very large room full of empty shelves.
And Legos.
And
there's Legos.
That compulsively makes you want to fill them. No?
No. I think I don't really feel a need to fill those shelves. Like, if anything, I'm probably going to take a lot of those shelves out of that room.
Wow. My second question is this.
Do you live in Maryland?
Shut up with her, Billy. My second question is this.
You buy, you carry.
from 0 to Kurt Cobain, what is your level of regret in selling it all?
I have none.
0.
None.
Not one shred.
Not one.
Are you saying I can't help but think
You have to look at the camera and say that.
None.
I can't help but think that there isn't one, being honest, that there isn't any element of you that's like, I'm gonna stick to my guns, I'm gonna cover down, I'm gonna double down on my decision, I'm gonna say none. There's not even a 1%, not Kurt, not full blown Kurt, but just a 1% regret.
I don't think so, because I mean, anything that was in there, I didn't sell anything that's not replaceable. So if a year from now, if I change my mind, or if I want to get back into it, I can. Yeah. Like, I don't think there's anything that I can't replace.
Okay. Did you keep anything?
Did you keep, was my question too.
Did you keep like?
Want to keep?
You didn't keep.
There wasn't like
Optimus and
5,
Megatron.
1 like.
So.
The art of tidying, if that's truly like what you were following, like.
I use that as a reference. I wasn't picking everything up and kind of like going through it.
Giving it a hug.
Yeah.
I feel like you're not respecting my Transformers because you didn't respect your Transformers. I feel like I need to put them back.
Shout out to QC24. I haven't seen that one.
There you go.
Dude, I keep it on. No,
I'll leave my stickers on.
I keep it on like a.
I keep about dropping accessories.
That was you.
That was you. Anyway.
Joe, who was it? I keep it on like a 5950. Where were we at?
If there was
did you keep any? Did you keep any?
Yeah, so.
Or anything that was harder, I guess, to.
Nothing was hard. Like, I thought it was going to be hard. Like, I really did. Like, that first trip to the store to buy boxes and tape and bubble wrap, I didn't have anxiety. Like, I almost felt like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to get to task. We're going to get to work. We're going to get this stuff knocked out. And then it was more like, it was interesting, like, as I was packing it, like, stuff that I've bought from other people, stuff that I didn't buy new, or, you know, trades or whatever. Like, there were some memories, and there's some stuff there, like, I'm not going to get rid of them, right? Like, Robert D gave me an Ollie at a time where I was living out here by myself on the East Coast, like, in a temporary housing in Jersey City, away from my family, and like that means something to me because he sent it, like he just sent it to me, right? Like so that's there. Like, I got a X-Trans Wild Child, like that terrible white Power Glide that Brian Brink gave me. Like, I'm still keeping that.
That is trash.
Like, I'm keeping that because somebody gave it to me, right?
You shouldn't have.
So there's.
You shouldn't have.
So there's some stuff like that. I haven't got to the stuff that's in my office yet. I'm going to my office tomorrow. I'm gonna start boxing up a lot of that stuff. I mean, there's.
How big is your office?
Stop. It's not this big.
Okay.
It's not this big.
So you said.
There's I have a Bape MP10 that I'm probably gonna keep. That's got some sentimental attachment and some stuff to it. That's
big money there.
My MP01, like the one that I bought with my wife, like I still have that thing and that terrible bass that makes a crackly Peter Cullen noise. So like I'm keeping that. So there's some pieces, but it's not because I enjoy the figure. It's more of the sentiment and the emotions attached to that piece. Like, I'm keeping that kind of stuff.
So. One question more before I get to the future. Mm-hmm. You don't have to say numbers. You don't have to say numbers.
Okay.
But how did you do liquidating all of it? How did you do, and what moved? Like, if there was like, man, these couple pieces moved quick, and these took a little bit more time.
Yeah. So there's some surprises. So really, the only thing I have left is Takara. So all the third-party stuff is gone. So that went very quickly. I thought the Takara stuff would go quicker, but like the more I think about it, chances are most collectors probably already have it if they wanted it.
I have a question about this, and this is a topic you love, not to point at you all.
Sure.
Do you think the knockoff part of the fandom around Takara hurt your sales on those figures?
100%.
Okay.
Because I had multiple people, like I had the first Sideswipe, right? $50 shipped. It's fair. I mean, if you wanted to go buy one new, I think it's like $80. And I had multiple people want it, and they were like, well, I think 50 is a little high because I can get the KO for 40 or 45.
Go get the KO.
then go buy the KO.
Yeah, they were
I'm
talking to the wrong
person.
guy.
Yeah.
That's
If anything,
the wrong one.
if anything, I'm gonna mark it up $10 on your ass. So, but yeah, no, I think the KO stuff directly had an impact on my sales, and I mean, anybody who knows me or listens to the show knows that I hate KOs, and I mean, you could throw that into the one more reason in the box to check while I'm getting out, like the
So you would definitely consider that a reason.
100%. Like, and the fact that this, I mean, it used to be one of those things where KOs were something that were like whispered about in the dark alleys of the fandom, and now it's like
Shouted from the rooftops.
overwhelmingly accepted. And I like, and the fact, like, even when that MP Sunstreaker came out, like I remember reading the day the announcement came out, people are like, can't wait for it, but I'll wait for the KO.
Mm-hmm.
And
So it's like you can wait for it.
yeah, you can wait for it. Yeah, you can wait for the KO. And even these MP, like the Megatron I have listed, like I had multiple people, well, I can get 2 other KOs. And I'm like, then go buy the KO. If you want to lie to yourself because you don't have an MP masterpiece, you're going to lie to yourself and pretend like you have it. Go right ahead, because you don't. So.
Shout out to Peter Pan.
Fair enough.
So should we talk about the future a little bit?
So the future, I would like to give Mr. Skullface a high five here on this next topic.
Mm-hmm. So
What's the future of collecting look like for Tyler the Collector?
So it's very funny. So Transformers was fun while it lasted, and it's kind of like that girl you date. She's a lot of fun, but you know she's trouble, and you know she's
That's my favorite kind.
Yeah.
and it's fun while it lasts, but she's not wifey material. So Transformers was fun while it lasted, but you know I got back to wifey material. So, and that was kind of like my first love, and that was Star Wars.
Okay.
So, and 3 3/4 fine. I still have all my old stuff. Like I love it. It's got a place. And I was never really thrilled with Black Series. Like it wasn't for me. So like I was looking at other options, and you know, there's definitely some things out there. But it took me a while to kind of self-analyze and be okay with moving into Star Wars Hot Toys, especially as much grief as I've given some people at this table.
And I have walked that same path.
So, yeah, I'm very grateful you've not made me eat crow.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't, because I know what it's like. Because you know, the thing is, like, we talk about this on Nerd Rage, is that like, it is okay for your opinion to change.
Yeah.
You know, like, just because you have an initial point of view doesn't mean that you have to have that point of view forever. Like, we grow, change, we evolve, and hopefully our opinions grow, change, and evolve.
Yeah.
And I still, a lot of things that I had issues with Hot Toys initially, the soft goods and the weight, and the lack of action figure element, I still have those criticisms.
Mm-hmm.
I just view their purpose differently now. And it took his display to realize their purpose.
Hey, listen, I've said this a lot, but I'd like to publicly say to Laura, I'm sorry.
It's not okay.
Dude, I'm saying my Hot Toys pre-orders for September and October are big trouble. We're going to be fine.
I've got one pre-order, just to put it out there.
Not two.
So, real quick before we get to the questions, because, you know, I just want to say I'm happy that you're still in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're in the mix somehow. You've changed the batter, but you're in the mix.
Yeah.
What have you acquired so far?
Whew.
Wait, no. You know what? Don't even answer that. Answer this. Percentage of your PayPal balance from liquidating. How much is left?
I asked him this around about today.
I would say, well, I've used some of the money for other stuff though. But I mean, it might be easier just to go down the list of what I grabbed so far.
Okay.
So I picked up. So the first one and the kind of the tipping point was the pre-order for that Vader from Empire went up, and
That's got a lot of people on the doll line.
And it's that photo of him standing like on the walkway, and he's kind of got the railing in front of him, and he's got his hand out. Like that's what got me. And like, and it took me a long time, and like seeing your collection, seeing your collection, and then like having stores in New York City that have them out and on display, like it gives you a chance to kind of look at them and appreciate them a little bit more. So I did the pre-order for that one, and so then I started looking like, all right, so I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna stick with original trilogies, and I'm trying to like put myself into these little lanes to kind of keep myself. And I was only gonna collect Rebels, and then that lasted a week. So probably in the last 2 weeks, I've got Luke.
You got a Dewback.
Stop it.
Forlome.
No. Yak Face. No.
Dengar.
So I got Luke, Leia,
B.
Han,
Arthur.
Chewie, Obi-Wan.
Which Chewie did you get?
The 2-pack original trilogy.
Planet of the Apes.
Not the Muppet. The Planet of the Apes.
Yeah. Yoda. I got the Stormtrooper 2-pack. I got the Sand Trooper. I got R2. I got Yoda.
He's counting with toes now, people.
He's also counted Yoda twice, but it's
okay.
fine.
Well,
he's worth it.
I probably have 11 or 12 already in probably the last 2 weeks.
Wow.
So let me ask you this. I know you got to know a bunch of groups. Have you seen a difference in the interaction buying these from people compared to, say, if you were going in one of the Transformer groups and buying? Has the interaction been different? If so, how?
That is a good question. I would say dealing with Transformer collectors is not enjoyable. I feel like you get a lot of tire kickers in the Transformer community. I got a lot of people lowballing me in the Transformer community, and I feel like it takes more to get into Hot Toys. I don't know if it's people have a...
You want to take it?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
If people have a larger discretionary income, I don't know what it is, but at least right now, and granted I'm only a few weeks in, but and it could be because it's new, but I don't see as much toxic hate, just viral, visceral, just crap that I see in the Transformer community. I don't see that in the 1/6 community. So, and
I can believe that.
And it seems like
I think that a lot of to be fair, I don't disagree, but I think that a lot of what we have done, has helped change that. Can you turn it all the way up? I need you to turn it all the way up.
Nothing can stop him. He's all the way up.
I'm all the way up.
I think
Selena loves that song. It was playing the other day when I was like warming the car up, and she was supposed to get in her car. I had to run inside and get my tea or something, and I came back out and she's like crawling out of the front seat. I was like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I was turning it up." And I was like,
"That's
She's
awesome."
funny. I do feel like we have filtered people into a spot. Like I feel like there are people that are not, or shouldn't ever be a part of this in any way, shape, or form. But I feel like we have filtered a lot of people that should be into this, like, all the way up, Tyler. I need you to turn the volume all the way 100% up. Don't put vibrate on. We're not doing like this thing. Don't do it.
About you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn it all the way up.
I'm good.
I can put on surround sound.
It's fine.
Okay. So I feel like we have kind of filtered it down into like the crack. For lack of a better term, like the most, like the mature kind of responsible adult with disposable income that understands, like, look, I like this. It's cool that you like that. I don't, etc. But I hear you, and I kind of want to just, I don't know why I felt compelled, but I felt compelled to defend this like niche of the Transformer fandom that we've kind of carved out.
Well, I think too, when you're looking at people that are collecting Hot Toys, $250 toys, and people who are collecting Transformers, which can be $5 to $500.
Sure.
You have a much larger span of people, like.
Well, and
so.
I think, and this is just
and span of ages.
Yeah.
Like, not too many
That's true, too.
teenagers and young 20s buying $250 dolls.
I'm not debating that.
No, well,
Doll squad.
no, I did have a doll moment where I almost checked out. Like this week.
When I put Punisher's coat on, I almost checked out.
I almost checked out. So that Besbin, that was one I forgot. That Besbin Luke two pack. So the seller was very upfront with me. He was like, "Hey, there's a little stain. It came that way." So I was like, "All right, no problem." So I went on eBay and I bought the jacket because they sell them single. I will tell you, when that jacket, because that jacket beat the two pack there. When I opened that thing up and I pulled out the baggie and there's itty bitty little coat in there. I had to sit there and I was like,
yeah. I just looked at that Harley, and when that little coat was in the bag, I was like,
yeah, I was like, what did I get myself into here? But I got over it real quick.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, good. Are we good? I feel like we're good. Should we move into? Let's do the gauntlet first.
All right. So
Can you bring me one of your extra loud phones that you have the volume turned all the way up on for So how many questions are there? Count.
So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions.
Okay. 6 questions. Bring me your phone, please. I'm sorry. To and put it on the stopwatch.
Okay.
This is like getting stressful.
To the listeners, we are going to ask 7 questions.
7.
Right? 6.
6.
6 questions to Tyler. I need you to give me a time frame that he should be able to answer those questions. If he answers those questions in a set amount of time, he is going to get a free gift. Now, I'm thinking, I initially said 1 minute, and everybody said, 1 minute?
It's like not even long enough to ask 6 questions.
All right, so I feel like 3 minutes?
6 questions, 6 minutes, 9 seconds.
9 seconds.
30 seconds.
30 seconds is, you gotta relax.
I think 6 questions, 6 seconds.
6 seconds.
I mean, fuck.
Oh, you're the one! You're ruining it for everyone! This is a family show!
He just walks out of the room.
Good grief.
10 questions, 1 minute, 10 seconds, 3 minutes.
It's fine. We'll go.
What do you think? 3 minutes?
6 questions, 6 minutes, but that includes
No,
them
6
time.
minutes. No, because
to
it's
read
got to
the
be rapid
question.
fire.
I think 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
That's 30 seconds
I
question.
think
It's
it's
probably
more than enough.
Tyler, your obnoxiously loud cell phone is locked. I need it to be unlocked. Okay. All right, are we ready? 3 minutes, you get a prize.
Now, hang on. Since this is the first time we're doing this, is there any elaboration? Because some of these are just pretty cut and dry questions.
Yeah, most of it is just, you just got to go, you got to.
First thing out.
Hey, like Annika's mom told him, what does your heart tell you?
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
All right, are we ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
So we're 3 minutes total.
3 minutes total.
3 minutes total.
Ready?
Yep.
Set, go.
Are your parents divorced?
No.
When's the last time you talked to the person you lost your virginity to?
Today, actually.
What's the most annoying habit a person can have?
Chewing loudly.
What would you sell your soul for?
I don't think I would. I don't think there is a price.
Favorite Ninja Turtle?
Leonardo.
We didn't need 3 minutes.
No.
No.
You're going
We're
to an
1
abandoned
minute.
island and can take one movie and one album. What are they?
Ooh.
Yeah. That's a Bobby question right there.
That's a Bobby question.
Empire Strikes Back and Blueprint.
All right, there you go.
That's it?
That's it.
Yeah, 1 minute.
1 minute.
1 minute
I
for
didn't
that
know
one.
one word
But
question.
he still would have made it.
Yeah.
50 seconds, you get your prize. So I'm gonna go get that.
And the gauntlet questions will probably be modified as we continue.
Yes, we might add a few, take a few away. If you want to ask some of the more popular questions from the chat, or if anybody from the chat has a question, we can go ahead and answer those now.
There you go. Ask your questions again because it's too many. He said Blueprint, Jay-Z.
Yep.
Please ask him where he sees Transformers in 5 years.
Where do you see Transformers in 5 years?
Not in my house.
Oh, fair enough.
Sorry. I feel like there were lots of questions. Applebee's.
All right. 1 truth mug,
Nice.
Oh,
Thank you,
etched
sir.
by the old KJ Sparkler herself. I gotta do something about this situation here.
Well, next time you'd be prepared.
But it's fine. Work it out. Do we have any questions from the?
Yeah. Let's see. What is your holy grail that you've yet to collect?
Ooh, are we talking what I'm collecting now? Or are we talking sneaker wise, or what are we?
Whatever.
Anything.
Your holy grail.
All right. So I have a couple when it comes sneaker wise. I have a blue suede Air Jordan 11 that was done for Derek Jeter when he retired. There's actually, we saw a pair when we were in New York City. That was one of the ones that was like, I think $40,000 for that pair of sneakers. That would be on the list. The Eminem collaboration with Carhartt and Jordan.
Whoever buys a pair of $40,000 sneakers, I hope you step in gum.
So they wouldn't wear those.
Did you pre-order the Hot Toys Emperor with chair?
I did. I pre-ordered that yesterday.
Dude, I've spent less money on a real chair.
That's probably
That's
true.
a fact.
I would imagine the chairs we're sitting in cost less. All four of them.
Yeah. One more.
Do you think you'll get back to Transformer collecting one day?
As of right now, I would say no, but never say never.
So Tyler, any other questions? You're welcome to go through the comments and answer. This obviously I'm not replying to all this in the comments. Thank you all for watching. I'm gonna give these gentlemen a chance to plug their stuff. Tyler, thank you for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
Like, this man drove a long distance, hours to get here to do this, to talk about, because I think that we have all thought about getting out, and I wanted to have that discussion. So thank you. I do mean that.
Thanks for having me.
Where can people find you?
You can find me in the Facebook groups. I'm checking out of a lot of the Transformer ones, but not all of them. And then obviously Toy Detox. You can check us out at toydetox.com or on your weekly podcast schedules. And find me on my Instagram, Tyler the Collector.
Even though it says Tyler the Creator, it's not.
Oh, it is? I'll fix it. I can edit it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. What am I doing? Chris, thank you for helping me.
Absolutely.
Thank you for helping me in the future with this.
Yes. Looking forward to it.
I can't see, so just being a guideline is a tremendous help. Where can the people find you?
Hey, I'm Pinkerton on Instagram. Christopher Adam Pinkerton on Facebook. And the Crashbox Customs on all your social media. I make stuff.
All right.
Oh, and Enter the Realm on Monday nights on the Realm Collectors YouTube channel. We do that. Part of the
Cool table.
cool table.
And yes, we will be at Baltimore Comic Con. We will be at Chicago TF Con with and without mask. If you really need to see his face.
You don't. You don't.
Well, there's a lot of people.
There's other things you can see, but not my face. Give me a kiss.
Show us your face, Clayton.
So look, thank you. We're gonna be doing it more often. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. We will get sound. We'll get Bluetooth mics and all that kind of stuff. Don't you worry about it. I'm on it. But I think this felt good.
This was good.
This felt good.
Real good.
Right?
Yep.
All right. Now, I wish I could turn it off. It's going to be, because I feel like we had a good goodbye, but I had to get up and walk over to the phone to
Just
turn.
have Tyler touch it.
No. I need to do it.
Well, he's got to get up anyway.
Yeah, I know, which is even weirder somehow. It's like let me say this. I should make this a skit. You ever have the moment where like you're with some pals hanging out and you have like a good exit, like you need a good exit, like you're leaving a party and you drop a punchline about something, like whatever, you drop the punchline, everybody laughs, like, all right fellas, you walk out and you're like, oh, those guys think I'm awesome and those guys are awesome, and you're walking out and you're like, I left my keys, and you have to go downstairs and like enter in, and then you can never have a good exit again leaving. So what I normally do under those circumstances, what I'm getting ready to do right now. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Until next time, take care.
You should have just walked home. You don't need your keys.
Now I need to figure out.
Wow.
Where's the...
There's got to be a way to do a timer on this.